and welcome back to the Rusty Ferret podcast. Oscar's just looking at me like, what? Hi, Baba. As you can see, I am in a different part of the living room today, for reasons that I shall not disclose right now, aka the flat's a tip. So I thought I would take you over to my relaxing corner. This is my corner of the living room with my granddad's lazy boy. Various projects going on back here, and the Rusty Ferret stock pile. This is all in a state of flux because, as I said, the flat's a tip. I'm decluttering, spring cleaning, whatever. So thank you all for coming back. As I always say, I really appreciate it, and I genuinely do. I have been putting off recording this because I don't know what to talk about. I feel like I haven't accomplished anything in the past 2 weeks, apart from flat stuff. So this might be short and sweet. I say that sometimes and it's still 40 minutes long, so don't hold me to that. Because once I start talking, there's no stopping me. I will let you know first. First of all, I have finished my Catterline. Look at it. It is beautiful. This is the Catterline by Karie Westermann. I've taken a better video because this is not good. I still haven't worked my angles out yet. I've just realised you can see my bra. This is a Mulkey Razorback bra. And they're so comfortable. I need to deal with the necklines. Anyhow, better video. So I'm so chuffed with this. It fits great. I really love the shape of it. I love how cozy it is. It hits the hip just perfectly. The zigzags on it look cool. My only one thing is I should have probably made the sleeves a bit longer. But since I always wear them pushed up, it's not a big deal. That's just a case of me not measuring as I go, which was a problem with the last jumper I made, right? So this is not new information for me. I should have learned from the last time, but here we are. So yeah, I showed you this the last time, but as I said, it's the Catterline by Karie Westermann. This pattern was really good. It was very well written. It wasn't difficult to knit in terms of it's all just knitting and purling. I believe it's only charted, which if you're not a chart person, that could be an issue. However, might be a good project to learn charts on because it is just knitting and purling. Dip your toe into that. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say apart from it. I would highly recommend this pattern. If I was the kind of person that would knit things more than once, I would knit another one. As I said, I would probably make the sleeves a bit longer, and I think I would do something about the neck. I believe the neck has a lot to do with my loose tension, nothing to do with the pattern, because if you look at the picture of Karina's, it's slightly further up. But I actually don't like a choked neck. I like this size, but it's more just because I'm aware that you can see my dress underneath and my bra, which, whatever. Do we actually care about what people think we look like? Do we care about what people think? No. So actually, I wouldn't change it at all. I'm just being, succumbing to society. Anyhow, I'll stop rambling about that. The yarn is at West Yorkshire Spinners, Air Valley DK? I can't remember. Essential DK, that's the one. And I overdyed it purple, but as I said the last time, it came out 2 different shades of purple, so I just whacked the whole jumper in a dye pot, threw in some raw dye, and actually it's looking quite cool. So you've still got a little bit of the variegation, but it's not 2 different colours, which is always a winner. So I am glad to have this in the rotation. It has been so cold in Scotland, specifically up north. So cold. So I will take all the wool I can get, basically. Next up, let me talk to you about my gloves. They are here because this is where I sit and knit in my little yarn bowl that somebody made for me. I finished one. Aren't they great? Aren't they great? Isn't this great? I did consider not continuing with the second because I have cast the fingers off too tight. They're far too tight. Like there's no, I can't show you that. There's like no, and it's uncomfortable and claustrophobic. So I was ready to just throw the towel. Oh, sorry. I was ready to throw the towel in and just be like, no, peace out. When actually I just need to recast the fingers off. So, now did I mention this before? Can you see? So my thumb is actually like, is it because the fingers aren't far enough down? I just find with fingerless gloves, they just sit too far up in my thumb crevice. But that's actually better now that I've pulled it down. But I can't pull it down any further because of the cast off. So I will be doing a much looser cast off. Not much looser, but like, this was just a standard cast off. Like what was it? Just pass it over, pass it over, pass it over. But look at the cables on that. Don't you think that looks really interesting with the self-striping? And the colours are not showing up their best on this camera. But I really, really enjoy these. I also like that the cuff's a good length because then it goes up into your jacket, which is always important. So I'm on the second one and I'm about ready to start doing the fingers. Yeah, so I'm glad, do you know what? I am glad that I have continued because I do want a funky pair of gloves. But I am annoyed that I have to go back and recast these off. There's nothing worse than having to recast something off. Especially when you have woven in the ends and cut them and everything. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the yarn, which is, what's the yarn again? It is... what is the yarn? It's Trolls World Tour by Fab Funky Fibres. And the colours are beautiful. The pattern is Vincent Gloves by Cowl and Owl. And again, great pattern. I am enjoying it. It's all written instructions, which is fine. It's fine. For the cabling, it means that it's not too complicated to like look at. You just follow it line by line. So it's fairly straightforward if you know how to use the cable needle. I will show off my cable needle though. I like these cable needles. And I honestly can't remember what they are. I had them in the shop. I don't remember. But I'm not even sure if you can get these anymore. So why am I showing you? I don't know. So before we have a catch up, I'm gonna catch you up on what I've been dyeing. It's the same thing. I have been dyeing wool. Look, proof, evidence. Have I got my mojo back? I don't know. But I'm trying to get my mojo back by turning up. I just have to turn up. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just have to turn up. Here I am turning up. So I haven't dyed yarn. I haven't dyed yarn in a while. Oh, I haven't dyed yarn in a while. For various reasons. But I decided that I needed to because that's the business. Mark suggested doing a From the Vault, Rusty Ferret Vault. Like old ferret colorways, like vintage ferret colorways. And I was like, that's a genius idea. Because it means I already have the recipes. I can just like bash them out. I don't have to think, which sometimes when you just have to get going, that's a good thing. So I'm working on the collection From the Vault. I'm dyeing it right now, and I have picked, what I think was it 19 vintage, I hate that word, vintage colorways. And I'm going to pop some of them up on the screen just now. These are not the pictures of the stuff that's dyeing just now, because it's all wet. these are the pictures of when they were the original colour, like the original, when they were first dyed, to show you what they look like. So I will be launching this collection next Thursday. Now, see, if this podcast had been like next week, I could have showed you. I might do a cheeky video in between. But yeah, next Thursday, 7 p.m. GMT. This will be going live over on rustyferret.co.uk, rustyferretyarn.co.uk. Get your website right. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. It's been nice to revisit colourways that I haven't dyed in a long time, that actually were really popular when they were in the shop. So it's going to be nice to have them in rotation. So they're all going to be available. I've totally lost my train of thought. Another thing that's going to be available, and it was while I was going through the list of colours to dye, that I got my subscriber copy of Pom Pom through the door, and it's beautiful. And there is a pattern called Effervescent, and it's this beautiful jumper with like a little bit of a lace yoke, but a frill in mohair. And I was like, that is like my fairy dream jumper. It's beautiful. And the colourway, I think the yarn colourway just makes the jumper. So while I was going through my list of things to dye, I had the colourway at WWVGS on the list because I really like it. I'll pop a picture on the screen. And while I was looking at it, I'm like, that colourway would look banging in that jumper. I need to knit that in that colourway. And I should say that WWVGS stands for What Would Van Gogh Say? Because Louise Scully, love you Squinny, gave me a pep talk. She said, what would Van Gogh say? And it stuck. Anyhow. So I am going to do, I think I have enough yarn to do 3 jumpers worth. But one will be for me. Kits of the Effervescent, for the Effervescent jumper in the yarn that is required. Does that make sense? I need to figure out on the website how you choose how many skeins you need for each size. I'll work that out. But yeah, that's going to be an option there. If I know I'm really rambling this week and I'm really sorry. If you want more information, sign up to my newsletter, which I will link down below. I'm far more cohesive on that than I am today. My brain's everywhere today. My brain's always everywhere. I feel like I should have like a prompt, I don't know, telereader thing. So, I'm quite excited. I've never done like no, that's not true. I have done kits for things. But it's always been kits designed with my yarn in mind. I've never taken somebody else's pattern that's not designed for mine. Does that make sense? Look, I'm just nervous about it. If nobody buys it, that's totally fine. I will have 3 of the same jumper. Okay. I'm okay with that. No, I'm not, because that means I have to knit it more than once. And that's like everything. I was back up at my mum's this weekend, and I didn't really get a chance to work on my gloves for whatever why did I not? I don't remember. Anyway, I didn't get a chance to work on my gloves. I think it's because I'm using my iPad and a piece of paper for the chart, not the chart, the written instructions, so it's not a sit-in talking project. I can do it while I'm watching TV, but like there's not the setup at my mum's that I have here. I have like a table with like an easel that I put my iPad on, and then like the cable instructions, because I don't remember which one's C4F, C4 back, C4L, C4R. What? It doesn't make sense to me. So I sit with that kind of here, so I can watch the TV and do that. So that's fine, but I don't have that at my mum's. So I did cast on a swatch, however. Let me find it. What is this? What's going on? A mess. My Whiistlebare yarn which is Yeavering Bell, and I can't remember the colorway. Oh my god. Hopeful Heart. So yeah, there we go. Can you read that? Hopeful Heart. And it is the Yeavering Bell. That's upside down. It's the Yeavering Bell yarn, which is just, oh, hello, glorious. Now, I did start a swatch, and this is for my, which will be my Lysning. I did check the pronunciation of that, and I've gotten it wrong. By Skeindeer Knits. Now, I've already gone down in needle size, an entire millimeter. No, an entire, wait. Yeah, an entire millimeter. And look at that fabric, that's still really, like, oh, come on. Don't look at my face, you don't want to look at my face. It's still a really loose, open. So I'm going to continue with the swatch. I cast on too many stitches, but I don't think it's, I think it's way off gauge. So yeah, I'll just, that's fine. I can just sit in backwards and forwards on that. Although Mum's inherited dog Beanie, my Uncle Bruce's dog, she, my mum thought she'd pulled this off the needle. She's a beagle, and she's kind of coming into her own personality at the ripe age of 10. And she was all through my project bag. In fact, the last time I was up, she was through my project bag and ate the labels off. Not that one. Hang on. The one I just showed you. She ate the labels off. I don't know what this camera's doing today. Hello? There we go. So she ate the label off the yarn skeins. So she was back in the bag trying to, I don't know. So Mum thought she'd hold it off, but actually that was me just dropping a heap of stitches I didn't have to knit. But yeah, she's a little demon, but she's so cute. I love her, but she's a little demon. I apologize if none of this is in focus, because I don't know what this camera's up to. I really don't know. And I'm dying wheel just now, so I'm not re-recording this. I refuse. I'm too busy. If I do this, and then this, hello? Is it because I'm too white? It's possibly because I was too white. So yeah, that is like all the crafting I have done. It is not a lot. Ah, why are you standing there, you big creep? Come here. Come be on my podcast. Just say hi to people. Mark's gonna come say hello.
Hello.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
And you will never ever see him again. Also. Anyway, so yeah, that is all I have crafted. And it makes me feel weird because normally I would be crafting 24/7. Not really. But it's fine. I have been busy with other things. So, do I have anything to catch you up with? Wolf. Probably not. So do I have anything to catch you up with? I decided to spring clean my flat because this is maybe a bit morbid, but as I said last time, my mum's uncle, but my Uncle Bruce died, and I went up and helped my mum, do the things you do when somebody dies. But it made me realise that I have so much stuff that I don't need. And I did watch some videos on Swedish death cleaning, which I thought was really interesting. I kind of got right. So let me explain. Mark and I are never having children. We don't want children. It's not for us. But I sometimes get this weird thing where, like, when we're dead, who do we leave everything to? Right? Like, is that something else childless people think about? Although I have recently realised that I do now have a niece that will inherit everything. So I'm sorry, I might be that crazy auntie that makes you live in her house for a night, and you get all my shit. Sorry. The wheel's actually worth quite a lot, so don't just charity shop it, okay? And your Uncle Mark's Transformers are apparently worth some money too, so... So yeah, Swedish death cleaning. Basically what you do is you go through your stuff and you get rid of something that, if you're holding on to, would it have meaning to, like, the person that's having to clean out your house. That's a really basic explanation of it, but I appreciated that. So I've gone through a lot of, like, I declutter my craft stash and that quite a lot, but the kitchen was the big one. So many cookie cutters that I don't make cookies. I've made cookies maybe once. I've made gingerbread men maybe once. So I did go through and, like, charity shop a whole heap of stuff. Facebook Marketplace, some knives that I felt so weird. I had knives from when I had the shop they're IKEA knives. They're good knives. They're really sharp knives. But I have a set of really, really good knives that Mark bought me by mistake. On purpose by mistake. And I don't use these. They're just in the cupboard. So I put them up on Facebook Marketplace because you're not allowed to donate them to charity shops. Put them up for free. Was like, please just take these. This is great. Blah, blah, blah. And somebody within like 10 minutes was like, yeah, I'll take them. And I'm like, am I providing a murder weapon? I don't know. But yeah, so it was good that they've gone on, hopefully, to have another life in a kitchen. Not as evidence. But yeah, so I've just been tidying, cleaning, organising my downstairs cupboard. We live in a tenement, so there's a cupboard under the stairs. And when I moved in, like 18 years ago, it had tyres, carpet, and a broken treadmill. And nobody used it. And it's meant to be a communal space. But it's not that kind of building. In fact, it is now, but back then it wasn't. So we emptied it out, tidied it out, took everything to the appropriate recycling places, and put a lock on the door. And it ever since has housed my lawnmower, garden things, and the kitchen door. The kitchen door's down there because I took the door off the kitchen. It has been broken into twice, but it didn't take anything because there's nothing worth anything down there. Anyhow, it has gathered clutter from the shop. So there's like 2 suitcases down there with my like show stuff. There's so many plant pots. I don't use the garden. Why is there so many plant pots? So that's kind of next up on the list. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. Just organising, tidying, trying to get my life organised. And I really wish I had more to tell you, but I really don't. I had my hair cut yesterday. And I was like, if I go and wash my hair, I'll have to dry it and straighten it for the podcast, which I was already putting it off. I was like, Holly did it. It looks great. And then I'm like, it doesn't look great. It looks like you've slept in your hair, which I did because it was yesterday. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there because that's all I have to say for today. I'm very conscious that I now need to go and put more dye in the pans and write a blog post and take Instagram photos and hang up yarn to dry. So I'm really sorry if this has been a disaster of an episode. I do love yous very much. I don't know why I'm doing the peace sign. I do love yous very much. And I will see you in a fortnight. Hopefully back at our normal spot because this is just not working for me. Okay, bye.